November 8th, 2021. And again, you're seeing the beautiful skyline, the beautiful lights in New York City. I hope you all are doing well. I woke up not too long ago. I did go to bed late and just kept on waking up and voila. Yes. Want to talk about some things here. It's the signs of the times again. My heart's, yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. My hearts and condolences, first of all, for those people, the known 8 people who passed away at this live concert in Houston, Texas. Hey, Cam, long time no see. Good to hear from you. Yeah, good to hear from you, Cam. Who else is out there? Good morning, good morning. Yes, this is a spirit journey. Yes. Yeah, I just wanted to, first of all, give a word of condolence for those 8 young people. The youngest one so far is 14 years old. Yeah, I did some other live videos a couple of days ago. Yeah, because usually this time I would be getting ready to do, getting ready for my walks and everything. Um, we're going to use some of that time. I don't leave as early anymore because now it's real dark, as you can see. Um, and in New York we have daylight saving, so we got an extra 1 hour of sleep yesterday. Yeah. So yes, my condolences for those young people in Texas. Uh, Astroworld concert. I forget the name of the performers. A rap singer. I don't follow the music, but yeah, I've never heard of this person. And it's about 50. Let's see. Yes, we. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. So, wow. 50,000 people at a concert. Packed. Oh, wow. It looked packed. Packed, packed, packed. Yeah, the news that's coming out so far is that this rap singer, in the past at least, uh, would encourage his attendees, people in the concert, to push forward, you know, to start a stampede or crushing people. When I first heard of the news, I think it was yesterday, um, you're given YouTube sends out, suggested videos to watch. And when I saw that, stampede kills, I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to look. Because in the past, growing up, I heard about these stampedes and I would feel angry about it. Angry at people who are immature and they think it's all a game. Yeah, what first hit my mind when I saw the thumbnail of the video regarding the 8 deaths in Houston, Texas, I immediately thought about this stampede that happened in Long Island, New York. And the, they even show they had a camera outside. It was like a um, like a bar, um, dance hall, those neighborhood, suburban places where you go and socialize, the young people. But it wasn't that young a crowd in comparison. These were adults, and there was a band, and they were foolishly um, setting off. I mean, the concert people. I mean, the what do you call it? The management to hype up, everything. Frozen at the door. They're right there to freedom. Right there to freedom. And I don't think any of them escaped, and they perished right there. And they're right at the exit door, and they jammed in, and they one big fella up front, and he was it was awful. It was awful. That's what I immediately thought of yesterday when I saw the thumbnail and what it said about the stampede and the anger I felt. Oh, when I turned on my device today, that's the videos were still, it gave again references to the recent stampede in Houston, Texas. So I said, let me just look at it. It's like they want you to see certain things. Yeah, it was sad. And at the concert, they said reports had said that people were randomly being poked with a needle. Get this, with a needle. They were being poked. Is anyone there? Oh, I hope that. Yeah, I'm back on. I hope you can hear me. I hope everything's okay. Yeah, when this thing happens a lot, the dropping of the live stream, and then the people think, they leave. But anyway, people were getting jabbed, and a security person said that they tried to prevent something from, try to grab someone who was doing something they weren't supposed to do, to be security. And when they did that, to grab the person, someone else, he felt a prick hit him in the neck. And then he passes out, and he had to be revived by this other chemical. You know what I'm thinking? I mean, who knows? You have to have an investigation. I could do all the speculation, doesn't make it me right or anything. But what came to my mind, I guess maybe the sometimes people who are in charge of the concert want to hype it up because, you have the cameras and everything, and make it appear that people are fainting because they're so excited. Like the Beatles. I used to watch commercials regarding the Beatles, the rock group from Britain. And you see all these ladies screaming and then fainting. And so they want to hype it up. That's what came through my mind when I heard about the needle. But it just goes to show you how immature society is becoming. Some members of society are becoming very immature. You had an event for entertainment. Wasn't entertainment used to be relatively safe? Why are they hyping up? They're making more and more money, but they're acting more and more immature in their conduct. So someone was doing this to people, and some of the people were on the ground. So was it, again, for that? Or were these the ones that maybe got squished to death? Some of the survivors of the concert, people who witnessed what was going on, some of the things, that the bodies were all, people were standing so close and squeezed together, the heat of the bodies, and then you can't really inhale, you get weak. And reports that in past concert, the performer had known to say in the past, everybody, push, that's stupid. I remember as a child in elementary school, we had to wait online in the lunchroom, and then you had someone push and to do like a wave. You push, and then they, so it'd be like a stampede while you're waiting online. Same type of mentality. You have people who just who are immature, who are probably bored with their lives, and they think that's excitement until they get hurt. Yeah, my condolences. It's awful. Awful. You hear about department stores, and they have, what do you call it, Black Friday, and everybody's packed out the entry door, and then they open it, and it's a madhouse, and you see all these big ass people, man. There's a correlation between one's weight and one's economic status. The larger some people are, these communities are, is usually a sign of poverty. It's like, wow. And so I guess with poverty, or you want to get a good deal on something, you think, oh, let me get up early and get something cheap. So it's like, is that the only way to get a good deal? After Black Friday, whatever, they're gonna, things are gonna be cheap, even cheaper. See that it's about hype. It's all about hype. And the immaturity of the people who are sponsoring or hosting these events, whether it's a store, a concert, etc. Why is this society into hype? I think there's even a magazine called Hype. See, the lives are boring. And they think, oh, let's just spice it up. Let's just spice it up. It makes me so angry, people, when I see things like this. Just making sure the volume is on. These are people who are bored. These are people, in my opinion, are greedy, selfish, and willing to have people, in essence, sacrificed to death to implement their foolishness and their selfishness. Why the hype? It shows the signs of the time that we don't care about humanity, and that we're so fixated, we're very much fixated on accumulating things. We want things. We want things because it can show status or a type of status in that community. It could be sneakers, handbags, designer clothing. And you know, a lot of these designers are people from very um, not mainstream lifestyles. I call the alphabet soup people. A lot of these fashion designers, they create clothes, they create shoes that are really uncomfortable, clothing that are uncomfortable. They even, I get this advertisement when I watch my videos, videos on YouTube. This lady that is reinventing the corset. She's a big lady to start with, and she wants to have an hourglass figure. So she demonstrates what this corset looks like. It's a miniature type of corset. Goes around that waist, and it squeezes you to death. Now this commercial is just recently, I think the past month, I think I saw for the first time in October. But yet this so-called pandemic is on. And people wearing a mask, right? So you got a corset on that's restricting your ability to breathe in, out. I guess the algorithms didn't like even the word covering. Yeah, but you have this corset that's being promoted now. Encourage all these young women. I look at these women. I'm more than twice their age, some of these women. They're in their 20s. I'm in my 50s. Next month in December, I'll be 59 years old. And when I was in my 20s, I would have thought 59 is old, old, old. I'm being honest. I thought even 40 was old. But I'll be 59. I can't believe it. But yeah, so when I look and see these things through my eyes, 20-something-year-old women, 30-something-year-old women, putting back on a corset of oppression upon them, their bodies. They're not free because they want the illusion, rather than just losing weight. They want you to think something other than themselves, that they have something that they do not. And they want the easy way out. They want the easy way out. I hope you guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the live stream. See, people don't want you to get this message. Yeah, it just shows us the immaturity of these people. They want you fixated on the illusion to look a certain way. And they're willing to compromise their health in the process. So put these corsets on. It'd be interesting, any of those people who died in the concert the other day, did any of them have those corsets on? I mean, that's a big stretch. Maybe I shouldn't even mention that, but it's horrible what happened. But it's all about hype. What I'm mentioning is that it's about hype, creating something that's not real. When someone's trying to do their job, they got jabbed by a needle, and it had a syringe with drugs. Such evil. And it's right after Halloween. Not too far, Halloween's just a couple of days ago. Yeah, it's a spirit of death in this society. It's a spirit of death. I want to promote life. Life, people. It's about life, enjoying life. Why focus on death and this short-sightedness about life. Yeah, I remember I was still 17 years old. This was 41 years ago. I remember I bought this makeup for the first time. I bought a face cleanser and makeup. I went to this store, like a boutique, a makeup boutique. They did my makeup, and then I bought the. Sorry again, the transmission keeps going off. Yeah, I was 17 years old, going on 18 in a couple of months. Um, and I got my first job. I was in college for the first time. And so I was just, okay, this is, I was interested about makeup. Since now I was making some money for the first time, that uh, I was able to get some things that I thought I might want as a new adult, young adult. Yeah, they get you fixated on your looks, a preoccupation, a 17-year-old preoccupation with your skin, your face basically, because, yes, I did have some blemishes. And you think it's so important. They emphasize so much on your looks rather than education. And here, 41 years later, seeing these young women on YouTube doing things about hair and makeup, and they sell products, clothing. They get what you call affiliates. They give referrals to advertise for they have sponsors, and they get a portion of the proceeds. It's very commercialized, everything. Yeah, young people are becoming more commercialized since this social media. Yeah, people are commercializing themselves, so people are buying more stuff to get out there at a younger and younger age. And I said, wow, I wouldn't want to be a young person these days because they don't focus on life. They focus on how to make more and more money. And with this event happening for the past, it's going on, it'll be going on close to 2 years. But what was that, 18, 19 months now? What has happened between this 18, 19 months? You have a lockdown, you have fear, and then they try to slowly open it up again, and then rather than embracing life for surviving a big portion of this epidemic, as they call it, they get a concert and pack it in as tightly as possible. Because of greed, because all about promotion and getting the money in there. Because they didn't have the live concerts last year, so now they want to make up for lost money. Well, that lost money caused, at least what's known now, 8 deaths. Young people, all of them under the age of 30. That's a waste. Really sad. And yeah, I don't have respect for these rap singers. They want to show how cool they are, and they seem to be getting younger and younger. These rap singers, and you know, anybody can get hurt at a concert. But it seems like the events that cater to a lot of people of color. I purposely will not go to a concert, to a venue that is catering to people of color. Why? Because somehow, for whatever reason, you have violence happening, immaturity, and I stay away like the plague. I stay away. But people, we're social beings, and especially from the past 18, 19 months, young people want to meet other human beings. And instead of embracing life, someone there was jabbing people in the neck with a syringe. How foolish. How foolish. I think sometimes these are not initiations, things deliberately done to human, for human sacrifice. That is they deliberately want. Sometimes I feel, and I'm not saying this concert from yesterday was done deliberately to cause death. But the foolishness that is attending there and causing innocent people to die, horrible. People want to socialize. And unfortunately, with some people, it's like they want you to get hurt. It's like they want to promote hype. Everything's always hype, hype, hype with certain demographics. They want to extract as much trauma from these demographics. A lawsuit already was initiated yesterday or today after the stampede in Houston, Texas. They want $1 million. So here, you think by cramming people in like sardines and then causing all these deaths, you got to pay out to the victim's family. You're not going to be making any real money, or maybe they just don't care and be saying, sorry again, people, the connection keeps going off. Yeah, all about hype, creating a false narrative. That's what's happening here, people. They want to create a false narrative. And so, it's like they want to get a reputation out. Oh, let's go to the so-and-so's concert because, oh yeah, this stuff happened such and such year ago. So they can get a reputation. Is it like gangsters? They try to do that. They want to get a reputation. I told you that story that happened. It was a couple of years ago. It could have been in 2018. I was seeing off a family member. They were going to go down the subway stairs, and we're in the middle of the sidewalk, extremely big sidewalk. And we get approached by two young men. They could have been teens. 21 was taller than the other, and the taller one walks inches from this family member and eyeballed him. And when he approached, I'm thinking, whoa, why is this dude walking up on us like this? And the person I'm with steers him back. I said, this is weird. And then he abruptly leaves and goes down the subway stairs. And I realized at that point, they were going to try to do a fight. And they were preying upon someone they thought was weak. So if you show signs of weakness, it would have jumped you. That's what was going to happen. So these young teen or early 20-year-olds were preying upon a 50-plus-year-old man and I believe it was something to encourage, what do you call it? Gang, gang. Go beat up somebody or go kill somebody. What a bunch of losers out there. Losers out there. And we're in an area, a very, we're right near 6th Avenue and 42nd Street. A very busy, cosmopolitan area. A lot. It's very transit. Transit. You know, people coming in and out. Tourists, local people. You know, people who work there. It's usually no problem right there. It's very clean. It's kept up, the area. And here this happened. I doubt these people live in the area. And they send these losers, I call them, into these areas to prey on others. Why? For the hype. You want hype and excitement. Why do these demographics doing these things? Shouldn't they be community building? Shouldn't they be studying? See, these this genre of hip hop, rap music is catering and forming a mental mindset that is about superficiality. Superficiality. It's about getting now at any cost. It's about hype, because you're bored with your life. And it's a spirit of death. It's a spirit of death and decay. Why do you like that, people? Why do you like the spirit of death upon your life? Start praying. When you get up in the morning, pray for life. Pray for life. Pray for your family. I was told that it's like a form of magic. If you can visualize it, you may be able to achieve it. So let's start praying for, focusing on, meditating on life, of peace, of health, all those beautiful things, of community building, wholesomeness. There's more opportunity now. There really is more opportunity. Create a beautiful life for yourself, people. You don't have to do this foolishness. I'm really sad about this new genre. And back in the day, in the 1970s, the genre of choice for the hype were what they call heavy, rock music. Those rock bands, I think they're called. Yeah. The guys were known to go into hotel rooms and trash it. I remember that in the 1970s. That's all you would hear about. They didn't have hip hop then. The late, I think, 79, it started to come out a little bit. And then in the mid-80s, a movie came out called The Fat Boys, I think it was called. And that really introduced mainstream America to that genre, rap, hip-hop. Yeah, but now it's like weaponized. And you have not just black people, you have Hispanics that play that kind of music. You have white people that play that kind of music. But it's a lifestyle, it's a mindset of, I want now. Gimme, gimme, gimme. But it's not about life. People, life is more important life. Look what's that, it's like you can't avoid them. I don't want to be around things like that. I don't listen to that type of music. I stay away from people who are into that. But you see, the artists themselves, you look at what you call the old school rap artists, look at them. Hey, cheeseburger. Yes, yes. Thank you for yeah, that's the name. That's the name, Travis. Yeah, Travis Scott. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was sad, and it's all about hype. Hype. Yes. Good morning. Good morning, cheeseburger. Yeah, long time no see. You also. Well, let's start focusing on life, people. We have to do something. We have to do something to change, not to sound new agey, to to increase to increase the vibrations, to lighten it up, give you higher vibrations of life. Someone was encouraging us, this YouTube, a new YouTube I've been watching past 3 days now. Um, but you could try to create your reality of goodness. You do your meditation and you meditate on that which is positive, which is pure, higher energy, and um, meditate and how you want to see the world. So you could promote, think about what life looks like to you, what happiness looks like to you, what a healed community. Yeah, because many of these people that die, are people of color. Why is it that they always seem to target people of color with these stampedes and things like that? Why is there so much violence? Well, you have, in my opinion, well, I believe you're being targeted. Yes, I do believe that. I believe that certain demographics are targeted for destruction, to create a false narrative of fear, to make other groups be afraid of them, so as to cause a stigma and conflict between groups, because they're going to say, oh, every time when these people are around, or this, oh, don't go out with those people, this and that, right? That's what I think it's part of it, to cause that rift. They create an artificial environment. People, these are distractions. These things like the content are distractions. They want you to focus on that. It is a distraction to what you really should be focused on. These are distractions upon our young people to traumatize them so they cannot move forward, and to meditate on those things that are pure and clean and wholesome. They want you to be focused on death. Well, shame the devil and use your mind and create something beautiful in spite of what they do to you, how they try to make you think in despair. Yeah, we had the New York City Marathon yesterday, and it's the first time that I got up early to take a look at it. Yeah, I'm not a runner, um, but I felt eager to see it because it was taking place in Central Park, and I go to Central Park virtually every day with my dogs. And I saw them when they were setting up uh, the the bleachers. They were setting up the cameras and all that. They set up the flags, the international flags out there. The world flags. And it was exciting for me. It was the first time I saw this. And I said, I want to come back out here and I want to see it. Well, I wasn't uh, able to get access inside the park yesterday. That was all barricaded. But I did get a good spot. I got the spot near the entrance where the runners go in, make a final entry into Central Park. So I saw all the runners, the ones that won, the first, like the first three or four winners. I saw they first had the, what do you call it, the people who are in wheelchairs, who cannot, physically run. So they had the cyclists, who are physically handicapped. And then you had the ladies, pro athletes. Boy, yeah, let me talk about that. It's something that I noticed. Now, I was very impressed when I saw they're tiny, tiny, tiny people. Tiny, tiny. They look about 5 feet at the most. Real petite in body build, really tiny, tiny. Extremely lean. And they had the flattest tummy, boy. Oh, they were leaning hard. Very, very svelte, but very muscles, very well formed. And the three ladies are from East Africa. And then number 4 was a Caucasian lady. And then they also showed shortly after that, the pro men came. And he was from East Africa. It was and then I think the second one was from, what country? A North African. Yeah, it was exciting. But one thing I noticed, that they were tiny and they're very lean. And then I watched, when I got, I wanted to just see who's going to, win. And then I shortly left. I did come with my little dogs. They were in the stroller. One of them almost had crawled underneath onto the road where they were to run on. A lady said, "Oh, miss," and pointed to my dog. I had to pull her back in. Yeah, they're all on their leash, but she kind of crawled under. Yeah, that was Lilac. She does not like crowds. Yeah, I took them out of the stroller, and I was holding them sometime, and I put them on, on the ground in front of me. Yeah, so when that happened, I put her back in the stroller, and my other dog Lily, I held in my arms. But yeah, what I noticed now, yeah, that a winner. We have to get rid of baggage. And these modern societies in America, we have excess. We have excess baggage in the form of weight, obesity. Now, those young ladies came in first place. They were like the smallest people that I saw run across that line, and here they were the number 1 people. And then I looked at the stragglers. Yeah, so I left after I saw the winners, the initial winners, went home, ate, and then I turned on to find on my YouTube channel any live coverage on the remaining race, the marathon. And by this time, it's like late in the afternoon. It was after 3 p.m. Yeah, so the winners already probably came and went. And I look at the stragglers that were completing the race. And you know what I noticed about these stragglers, these latter people who bravely accomplish or were about to accomplish the 26.2-mile run. They were heavy set. They looked out of shape. To be honest, they looked extremely tired. They were overweight. But I commend them for even getting that far. Yeah.
So it was just something that I noticed. See, again, with Spirit Journey Channel, awakening has to do with awareness, to become aware. And when I became aware with the New York City Marathon about one's health status and one's weight, who's winning the race are those people who are leanest. And I'm not talking about being emaciated or anorexia. I'm not talking about that. That there's a correlation. And the lean have less baggage on their feet. Because let's just say the human feet. Now, those were tiny, tiny ladies. They have tiny feet. And so I bet if you did a ratio check on those winners, the ratio between the size of the feet and the amount of weight, the total weight, is probably going to be a smaller ratio than, let's say, the others. The length of the feet and their body weight, total body weight upon that foot, is probably going to be higher. That weight on your feet, imagine that foot is carrying that weight all those miles. So part of the answer in becoming that great athlete is, weight management. Not about being skinny, but being lean, being healthy. And excess body fat is not where it goes. But this is a society now that is hyping. That's the key word here, hyping. What is it hyping? I've been recently seeing videos on people hyper eating. Hyper eating is those people who eat like uh, 10 pounds of a meat or something, a mega breakfast, and they're given X amount of minutes to eat the whole thing. I kid you not. There are channels that are devoted to this mega eating, this hyper eating, and people watch. They call it mukbang. That's an Asian term. They do it's called like you're talking and eating at the same time, and it started in Asia. And yeah, you have Asian channels that do the mukbang. Some of them have it down to a science, this eating thing. And some of them have like, what was that? The latest one I saw, he has two, I think 2 point something million subscribers to watch him eat. And I did watch. I did watch. I was like, wow. And I'm thinking, and see, I have a food background. I had gotten my master's in nutrition a couple of years ago, and I got frustrated with the field, and I said, I'm not going to pursue that anymore. But I'm glad that I completed the master's program. Um, how are you going to help a society about their weight management or health management? And these videos are on to promote mega eating so that they can get views, subscribership, and money. It's all of see that? It's all about hype. And um it is it's destroying you. It is absolutely destroying you people. How could you do that to your body? Like some of them, okay, they look like they're at a relatively normal weight. Many of them, many of them, they do weightlifting. So they have this mega meal, and then they lift weights, heavy weights. So muscle is like a furnace. Human muscle uh, acts as like a thing to burn up, to burn up energy. Fat is just a storage deposit. It's the muscle that burns it, the fat. So to keep the muscle pumped and everything, I guess the the thermal effect, you're using up more heat just to stay alive, when you have a lot of muscle, because the muscle has the mitochondria that gives off that heat. But what a cost. You think because they lift the weights, you don't think those chemicals, yet some of them eat this funky food. They eat blue food, green food, all these weird colors, this red stuff. One of them is even like bragging about his tummy. I'm not going to give the name, but he goes right now. He's getting real theatrical. Yeah, I saw his first video. I said, let me check what his very first video is, because someone said he used to be skinny. Lo and behold, he used to be a vegan. He got discouraged with the vegan movement, and I guess he's showing his anger, and he slowly, I think he's been on now 4 years, and now he weighs 375 pounds, and he claims to be 5'11". He claims to be that tall. Could you imagine? I mean, and he's like bragging about, oh, he got broken ribs and this and that. So why mentioning this? See, this is the hype now. This is the mental disease that's happening to our society. This is one of the United States of America is one of the richest countries in the world, and you have stupidity and encourage people to do these things against their own body to make money. That's all why they do it. Money. So they're creating hype. They're even creating disease on purpose and using that as a tool to get sympathy, to get more people. Sorry again. See, when you start to say, come on, let's go on. Sorry, the transmission had went out again. Yeah, see, when you start talking about certain topics, they don't want you to know about it. They don't want you encouraged. They don't want you to see through the hype. So they're attacking our country with videos of people mega eating, deluge of food, food upon, and a lot of it is junk food. Junk food. Or not the music. Hey, let's hype up the music. Hey, let's teach the young people to go out and thug middle-aged people. Remember earlier this year, it was, let's beat up, I'm not going to say the name of the ethnic group, but they were saying, they started just beating up these people, women, older women. This is a disease on society. People, we have to stop this foolishness. We have to stop it because, like Rome fell. Rome fell in all its glory. And then its seeds spread out to Europe and other parts of the world. And then they created new seeds of destruction in those new countries. And then they came to the Americas. And now the seeds of destruction are here in America, the land of plenty. But foolishness reigns. People, this is a wake-up call. We can stop this. We can stop the insanity if we start looking within. I've told you about some of my, looking within. I go in front of the mirror, get a comfortable chair, I get a little candle, I darken the room, and then I look upon myself. I look into my eyes. The most, who people fear themselves. I was afraid to look at myself. I was afraid to look within. I had to do it. Something I feel compelled to do because I'm sometimes I feel like I'm pulling away from myself because I'm hiding something from myself. I said, no, it's time to do a mirror gazing and start looking within. Start to look within yourself and heal yourself. Hug yourself in the mirror. Say, I'm sorry, soul. Why are you in pain? Why are you hurting? Why are you sad? Let's get healed together. Start, if it's safe for you to do so, start taking nice walks, nature walks outside. Breathe in the beautiful air. You know, it's fall now in New York City, and so it's very cold now. Now it's in the 40s. And so you need to dress warm and in layers. I don't want to let this weather, this cold, new cold, it started getting cold 5 days ago. Yeah. So I know I want to stay out longer. I don't want the cold to keep me from going outside. So this is what I recently did. I put in an order online. I bought these wool blend socks. I bought these mittens that's supposed to keep your hands warm. It's what those people who work in the mountains, the what do you call it, those reserves, what they use. I don't know the name of them, but they're three finger mittens, and it has all this padding and stuff on it. Yeah. And then I also bought, or I have my onesies on, to keep my body warm when I sleep, and when I get up, I don't feel that cold draft on me, and I'm able to do, if I want to, a quick exercise, just quick stretching, you know. Yeah, I have an aversion to the cold, the morning cold. I do, and I also purchase. Some people call it like a jumpsuit. It's like a one-piece thing, and it has zipper on the side of the legs, and you put your leg in, and you put your arms in, and then you zip it up in front. Well, they have some for the mega cold. Yes, the one I bought, it's called the brand name is Refrigi Air, something like that. Refrigi Air. Oh, or Refrigi Work or something. Refrigi Room, I forget. But it has the word refrigerator, part of the word refrigerator in it. You have people who work in occupations where they work in a cooler, and it's like sub-zero degrees Fahrenheit. Well, I purchased one of them. It was expensive. It's like $275. I only bought one. I want to see if it works. Yeah, it's a one-piece thing. It's olive green, which is one of my favorite colors. I love olive green for this fall. I love it. If they had mustard color, I would have gotten a mustard. But either way, I bought one, and I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it outside. You wear something underneath, of course. So I'll wear some something underneath, and zip her up and go outside. I'll wear it has a hood too, and I'll probably wear something around my neck, and I'll tell you how it goes. Yeah, I'm really excited. It should be coming soon. And I almost forgot one more other thing I bought. I bought these boots. What do you call it? What do you call it when you're walking in nature? What do you call that word? When you're out in nature and you're walking. Well, I bought that, but they come up to the like 6 inches above the ankle. I think that's what I got. No, I didn't. I got what was that? Well, I got some, at least it covers the ankles for support. Yeah, they're boots for walking. It's a special Swiss-made shoe, and it is to preserve your joints. Yeah, earlier this year, I was experiencing severe backache and severe neck ache. And that's also why I modified the type of videos I do. You know, I don't do the video editing. I just pretty much do live streams. I don't have to do video editing. Yeah, just to try to preserve my neck. So with these shoes, supposed to help with your joints, to put less pressure on them, to preserve your ability to walk and everything. And it does work. I don't get pain in my lower back. It's works pretty good, and yeah, it feels your walk is, it takes a while to get used to initially, but it seems to work pretty good on my joints, and I'm so happy about that. And it keeps your feet warm too. So that should be coming soon. So I want to wear the new boots with the jumpsuit or the coveralls. Yeah, it's good for minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Minus 50 degrees. That's minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so if it gets too hot, you can have, I guess, have the button, the zipper pulled down to get the air, trapped air out. I hope it works. Yeah, it's my desire to stay out in nature. I want to go to nature. I want to embrace the trees that are out there. The leaves. We still have some leaves on the trees, so I want to enjoy that while it's still up. I want to enjoy the bushes and everything. I want to enjoy the birds. They have a large boulders there in Central Park. I was told that everything is life. I was told that all matter has consciousness. That's what I'm learning. That's what they're teaching now. All matter has consciousness. So the rocks, they have consciousness. The birds have consciousness. The grass has consciousness, etc. And if that's the case, I want to get to know this nature. And I have a strong, someone else was saying this too, I have a strong belief that when you're close to nature, that nature will protect you. And there was a YouTuber who shared they uploaded a video a couple of days ago. She also does her videos outside. Um, she said that the nature, when you go visit a park or something, the trees, introduce yourself to the trees, and they said the trees will introduce you to nature, will introduce you to the bees, to the birds, and all that. And she said that at one time that these bees were like around her, and she was afraid. And then it dawned on her. She said they're greeting her. That the trees, she is communicating with the rest of the nature there, and introducing her. I know it sounds wild, people. I know it sounds wild, but if everything in every what do you call it? If matter has consciousness, then that consciousness would be able to communicate with others on its wavelength. And again, I believe that the more connected you are with this nature, I believe that eventually be able to communicate with you, or at least protect you. I believe this. I believe that when things really, like with viruses, I think maybe, I know I'm stretching it, but hear me out. I'm believing, I don't believe in being stupid. I'm not believing in going up to a sick person and have them blow in your face. I'm not saying that. Use wisdom. And I believe nature can teach you wisdom also. But I believe that perhaps this nature whether it be trees, grass, the rocks, the birds, etc. They could communicate to the bacteria or the viruses that are in the air and say, leave this person alone. Leave this person alone. Or maybe to bring in more of the good bacteria or other microbes to protect that individual, to surround that individual, to protect their body. I believe that this could happen. I'm believing this. It's just something. Say, hey, like for example, like New York City has a lot of homeless people. But how come you don't see them sick? People, start thinking, start asking questions. How come you don't see the homeless who are living on the street? How come they're not sick? Well, one thing I noticed early last year with this event that's going on the planet, that they were social to each other. Yeah, these homeless people looked like they were having a good time with each other. They were talking, laughing. See, they might be a lot of things, but they're not afraid. They're not afraid, and they're not sick, and they live in the elements, and they are being protected because they are one with their environment, people. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Please plus a 1 for yes if you understand what I'm getting at. Is this making sense? How come you don't see the homeless sick? But you see all these people living in these nice homes being raced to the hospital and are dying. Oh, let me tell you what else. I have to try to hurry this up. Yeah, I was watching this video. It was magnificent. I mean, it was really interesting, very entertaining. This person, this other YouTuber, focuses on everything. What you call conspiracy theory, just everything, paranormal, everything. They're from Europe, and they interviewed this guy that was in the mafia. Oh, what was the thing they were mentioning now? What's the point? Oh God, I can't stand when this happens. Oh God, I forget the detail. But they. Oh Father, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't like when this happens. Yeah, I forget now. But the program was interesting. And the information that this person was showing about the people out there, the people who people are being protected. People are being protected. Yeah, there's a world out there, and it's not all what you think it is. It's not all what you think. But it was one of the best interviews. Oh gosh, yeah, it was. I'll give you the name. Age of Truth, TV. Age of Truth. It was a. I mean, I'm not glamorizing people who are in the mafia, and he got in acting, but his life was about synchronicity. Yeah. Oh, okay. He got sick as a child. Oh, I remember now. I remember. Okay. He when he was 6 years old. He's an Italian man. No, Sicilian guy. When he was 6 years old, he contacted polio, and he's from New York. He lived in Little Italy, and they had to send him to the hospital, and he was quarantined. He and many other children. And what they were doing, people, they would take they were doing experimental stuff on the children. And his life, he was being protected from, even though he contacted the polio. There was a woman they had a nurse in training, and this nurse, they called them candy stripers back then. They wore red and white nursing uniform to designate them from the regular nurses who were all white, who were, full nurses. And this lady was the niece of one of the mafia people. And she, I guess maybe she can, I guess because of his last name, she knows he's Sicilian or Italian, whatever. And she looked out for him. She warned him, said, hey, watch out by Dr. So-and-so. Oh, and by this time he's 12. He was at this hospital in quarantine with other children for 5 years. So he entered when he was 6 years old. When he turned 12, this event happened to him. Well, the perverted doctor, the nurse, the candy stropper nurse warns him about this doctor. And he has a nature of being hyperprotective of himself. And he found a broom, and then he sharpened the one edge of it into a point, and he hid it underneath the radiator. And when he had to go to the bathroom, he would take this stick with a point. And one day, this doctor said, oh, do you need help in there? No, I'm fine. But they grabbed him. It was only, the bathroom was only had a curtain. They didn't have like a door, just a curtain. And he grabbed the 12-year-old, who's not 12 years old. And then the guy, the boy, took the stick and rammed it up underneath his ribs, killing the guy. And then the doctor screaming, before he dies, is screaming. All this blood is coming out. And the nurse runs in the room, puts a towel over the boy, and they hurried the boy out and put him in the psych ward. Yeah, this was in Bellevue Hospital in New York City. It's known for its psychiatric portion of the hospital, but it's a full hospital. And I believe what happened, yes, they put him for a 3-day hold in the psych ward, but it's to release him. They all knew the doctor was a pervert. So to spare, I guess it was their way of thanking killing the guy in self-defense. They released him back to his family. So he's in he would have probably stayed there the rest of his life. But either way, I almost forgot now. So before the incident of the pervert, he noticed that they were doing these, giving the children these needles and this experimental stuff. And I guess I'm only speculating that nurse prevented him to get the first batch. Like in medicine, they have a control group and then an experimental group. So they didn't want him to be the experimental one. So they didn't give it to him. But everybody that got it, I think they said 5-6 days later, they all died. Those who got it. Yeah. So even though he was quarantined for 5 years with other children, and you can't get visitors, so he thought his family abandoned him, but that no one is allowed because of the quarantine. They said polio is highly contagious. But the point is that these needles, these pathogens that they want to call medicine, is being given to children. And with the current situation, people, with this 18-month scare that they've been doing upon the planet, well, sometimes you have people, and you may not think people care about you, but some of you are really being protected. Some of you really are being shielded, but maybe you have to go through a fire of some type. Even in the Bible with the Hebrew boys, the three Hebrew boys who were thrown into the lion's den, yeah, that's not a good event to happen, but they were protected. You know what I'm getting at? So, yes, some of us will go through certain traumas, but this trauma is to develop you. This trauma of this 6-year-old Sicilian boy gave him, it prepared him for life. It sharpened his instincts that when he was giving a warning by that nurse, he did something about it. He created a weapon. And when he came of that age, when he became 12 years old, he had to use that weapon. And he used it successfully upon that guy. And that's what actually got him out of the hospital from quarantine. So he could have gone out all along, like the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz could have gone home all along. They had all those kids at the hospital, at Bellevue Hospital, who were no longer contagious, but they were experimenting on them. And even in his 5 years in solitude, amongst other children who were being molested by that pervert for all those years, it was his exit call. It was his passage, his rites of passage outside that bondage. Do you hear what I'm getting at? It's not by accident, people, that these things happen. It's the guy's life. Yeah, watch the video. I generally do not give names of YouTubers and things like that, but I thought on a spiritual aspect of serendipity, of coincidences. It's no coincidence about that man's life, his whole life. You gotta watch. It was amazing. I mean, yes, they talked about Marilyn Monroe. They talked about all, the Rat Pack, the mafia. He worked for the. I'm not, that aspect is not what I'm trying to focus on, but that him as a young boy. It was a 2-hour plus interview. It is very riveting, very exciting, but but it's the message that you read between the lines. What was really going on? And I think that many of our lives could have also been serendipitous, coincidental, have people watching over you, even though you're in the lion's den. Yeah. You always have someone watching over you. And I'm wondering, like someone had mentioned before with the mafia, Sicilians and Italians, that someone's mentioned that the spirit of those location, that you have generational families of violence. And some people believe in what they call reincarnation, and that we may even choose our avatar, our bodies, or families that we're going to be incarnated in. And maybe these people, they were suggesting that with these families, that you have a long heritage of people doing this. And so I'm wondering whether or not in this meta universe, the paranormal universe, that maybe that, I mean, I can only speculate, but maybe it was for a higher plan. Like, you have an invisible army in the the paranormal world, and then you get reincarnated to work in a family or to live in a region of the world, and you have a task at hand, and you are prepared, or to be prepared from very young to do certain things. And for me, it kind of makes sense. Why all this stuff? Well, there is a world within a world, the invisible world, and then it comes into carnate, and you do your life's task. That this man who's now in his late 70s. I you know, he I gathered that there's a calling, even though it might be warped, certain lifestyle, mafia, but he had access to the Vatican, all these things. So you have the church, the so-called church, the Catholic Church, and this organization, and they're trafficking money, millions of dollars, um, experiments that are being done in hospitals, just like now, with the jab. They're experimenting on people. Some people get the experimental medicine, and some people get the control medicine. With medicine, the control group is the group that, if I understood right, the control group is the one that doesn't get the medicine, they get a placebo. And the experimental group is the one that actually gets the so called medicine. And they want to see the results. It's all experimental. It's a whole life. There's a whole new world. There's the invisible world that is very much alive. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. People are also mentioning the other day, I saw it yesterday, another YouTube video about the Antarctica. And that there's societies that live underground. You have these superhumans, and you have so-called aliens, reptiles. It sounds very far-fetched. It does. But why the secrecy? See, there is a world within a world that affects your world. That's what I'm getting at. The world before this one, the fourth dimension world, influences very much what's happening here. Yes, all at play. Everything affects everything else. So, I guess in a nutshell, with everything, we're all connected, all of us. They said something about the subconscious mind. There's a collective subconscious mind. And if you do your meditation and tap into your subconscious mind to try to alter your physical world to a happier one, to a healed one. So start getting out there to lighten your energy and start thinking of words of healing, of joy, of peace. Maybe this is our tool of weaponry to fight this current system. Yeah, this is a giant monopoly game. This is a monopoly game, and you have people who, for generations, controlling this game, maybe tapping into the metaphysics and transforming the energy to one of peace and liberty. Start doing this, people. I want to start doing this. I want to do this more and more. This physical world and wealth is really all for the birds. Yes, have what you need to survive. Have your warm clothes in the winter, your cool clothes in the summers to maintain, to keep at a comfortable temperature. Eat healthful foods, and don't pollute your body with all that crap. It's your choice how you want to eat on a daily basis. Nothing wrong of a little snack once in a while, of what do you call it, a treat once in a while. But don't get like those YouTubers and eat mega-sized meals that is full of chemicals and crap in it, just to get people watching. Money is not real. Monopoly game was introduced to this planet. It's not indigenous. Civilization is not indigenous to this planet. It is a hijack. Civilization is a curse. Civilization is a curse that was introduced to this planet. It's not natural. It's not a natural system. Yes, it has technologies and stuff, but it's really a curse. It is to get you dependent on the system. And that's also why I want to get more connected with outside, because I feel getting in tune with nature will help protect me from when things get really rough. Yes, use wisdom, and there's nothing wrong of getting, have a supply, food supply in case of emergency. Use wisdom in all things. But the closer you get to nature, the one you are with it, and the harmony that will result. And that is my desire for all of us. Harmony and freedom, true freedom. Freedom is not going to a rap concert and jumping up and down and getting killed. Let us teach our children to respect life. So you don't have to, when you become a teenager, have to go through an initiation and beat up a middle-aged man to try to prove you're macho. You fucking coward. You're a coward. You're teaching fear. Anyone who teaches a young boy to beat up a middle-aged, 50-something-year-old man is a fucking loser in my eyes. Are I not speaking the truth? Are I not speaking what is real? You think someone who goes around and beating up middle-aged men is someone who's going to survive when the poo-poo hits the fan? When nature says enough is enough, I believe nature will protect the innocent. That's what I believe. So with that last note, I have to go take a shower now. It's about 5:33 in the morning. I'm going to take my shower, get dressed, and go out there with my pack to nature and give my thanks. Give thanks. Pray over your food also, and give thanks before you eat it. Not to try to look religious, but to truly, it's a part of unifying with that. Anything that's going to go inside your body, you want to be one with it, and you want it to be harmless to your body. You want it to be a medicine for your body. So that's why you give thanks. Give thanks to whatever you put in your mouth to eat. Give thanks and live in that true freedom. Okay? I thank you all for listening. Yes, I thank you. Go do your mirror gazing. And before you do your mirror gazing, give a word of prayer of protection over you and your domain. And when you finish your inner work, give a prayer of release and to close all portals that were open for your protection. Yes, all about using wisdom and going within. The true person that you have to overcome is yourself. So again, thank you so much for watching. Share this video with friends, family members. You can subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And those of you who like the content and you want to support this channel, you can PayPal me. My link to my PayPal account is on the top right of the banner of my channel, Spirit Journey it's called. Just click on the link, follow the prompts, and any amount would be appreciated. I thank you all for your help, for your prayers, and for your encouragement. Peace, love, and joy to you all. Let's get out there and enjoy nature. Embrace it while you have it. Okay? Bye-bye.